have it after the deadly shot hit the Malagos.
Yeah. But Shoop takes the win, and, not often that you see a win like that where Savannah Jaime just doesn't get played when it's in the hand on turn 6. But Shoop, I think, navigating that one pretty expertly. Going to find a win with the Hunter, and now just has Warrior Warlock remaining. Chessdude probably going to throw out that Rogue. It seems to be one of his favorite choices, just get that win early, because he knows that eventually he's going to find a win with his favorite deck. But still don't know what type of Warriors these are. Still don't know what type of Warlock Shoop has, even though probably leaning towards Zoo, just because at the current time, Zoo is what we're probably leaning towards when we see a Warlock at any time.
It is. I mean, it's certainly a strong build right now, and it's a hard argument to not play Zoo in a tournament setting like this. I mean, even the decks that kind of target it can still lose to it when it just gets a Zoo hand.
Yeah,
and that's sort of the basis of that deck is enough. Never underestimate overwhelming stupidity and overwhelming numbers. Little dumb minions can very easily get the job done. And Shoop, Sylvanas and Ragnaros in hand alongside Bash and Bloodhoof Brave. Bash more indicating of a control style. And look at that hand from Chessdude, though. Not a lot of action early on, but seeing the Karin and the Chill Maul, this is sort of that Fibonacci build that started to creep in at the end of the May season. Fibonacci actually grinded to rank 1 with a N'Zoth Warrior build that has Karin and Chill Maul. And I actually covered this deck in a YouTube video I made. Love this one.
Yep. See how it fares in the control mirror. Shoop just seems like he's running a more classic version of Control Warrior. We'll definitely have to see, though. Still could be some roadblocks thrown in, but that's just Scar Trueheart picked up right off the bat. And these Control Warrior mirrors, that card is one of the most important, if not the most important card.
Yeah, but it's especially important when you have it so early, as Chessdude does. I mean, landing it on turn 6, it will typically draw some action from your opponent, and then you get to just stack on the armor.
Yep.
Build a giant steel bunker around Garrosh's face.
Well put.
I didn't know he was much of one of those post-apocalyptic preparation guys. What do they call him?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Hipsters?
It's the answer to everything for TJ today. Harrison Jones, not too bad. 2 draws picked up. And so that may be kind of the end of the drawing for Shoop, though. I mean, a lot of times in this matchup, drawing too many cards is kind of a liability. You don't want to draw. You do need to draw some, but not like too many, unless your hand's just good enough to go the whole way. Survivalists. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, production.
Nah, I think that's wrong.
No, that's definitely correct. It's definitely right.
It's got to be hipsters. Yeah, but yeah, Control Warrior nowadays, it doesn't necessarily come down to fatigue. There are some matches where it does, but it's definitely not like the old days where Control Warrior matchups were just decided by fatigue. That's just how it was. You would never draw a card. Ever draw a card.
Yeah.
Never.
You wouldn't even draw for your turn.
Yeah. You only put 6 cards in your deck. You just play with those 6 cards. Oh, Bash picked up. Let's see if this changes the plans at all, but I can see him just attacking in and fitting in this armor up. Yeah.
And you can see that Chessdude is really concerned with the multiple card draw effect. If he plays Acolyte here, Ravaging Ghoul can come down and force some of those card draws. And knowing that Shoop has drawn cards this early, and that he's only drawn 1, I imagine probably going to be pretty happy with just taking it slow. I mean, he's got Karin and Chillmaw and Justicar in his hand. So the longevity really favoring him early simply because he's got all of his big beefy stuff. Even Sylvanas picked up now. This N'Zoth, when he gets there, is going to be huge. Yeah. And kind of looking at how Justicar, he's not going to really be hero powering anytime soon. It's just looking at sticking the Karin instead.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Grand Tournament.
Now, it does need to be a little bit careful here. The only tricky interaction is how Sylvanas and Shield Slam ends up working in this mirror match. Like, if you play a big threat and it gets actually stolen, N'Zoth's not raising it. It's when your Death Rattle minions die, not just the Death Rattle minions you played this game. Yeah. You have to control them upon death.
They have to die on your board.
Yep. So this Chill Maw almost certainly would force some action here from Shoop. But now he's played that Just card, though. I mean, do you want to forego armor ups at this point?
What now?
Pressure is a pretty good thing, though, but nope. Tanks up.
TJ, I love it. There's nothing I love more than just tank it up.
I have an axe.
Quite a few things that I love more than tanking up. No,
Me
I'm not
too.
going to list them if that's what you were waiting for.
I just wanted 2 of them. I wanted 2. That's it.
Oh. I don't know. Anything.
Number 1 is me, obviously, but
Water and windows. There you go. 2.
water,
Boom.
windows, and admirable. That's what
First 2
TJ
things
loves
that I
more than
saw.
tanking up.
Yes. I mean, I'd say well over 50% of things that exist I like more than taking up.
You're one of those hipster nerds. You're just a nerd because it's cool.
Yeah.
To rule the horde.
I used to collect
Got me.
dragons, TJ. Like figurines and posters and stuff.
I was like, imaginary dragons?
Had all their albums.
Not to be confused with Imagine Dragons. Which Admirable just confused them.
Oh
with.
yeah, Imagine Dragons is always the band that people confuse Imaginary Dragons with. They're so mainstream.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go build a survival bunker now. Because I'm TJ's definition of a hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much happening in this match. I mean, it is a slow build. This is like one of those 10-course meals where you get little bite by bite. And finally you get to that one nice fillet course. And you go, oh yeah. The fillet's what I was waiting for. It looks like Shield Slam on the Sylvanas to steal this Cairn. This is one of the plays I think Shoop needs to be making in this matchup to sort of relieve the pressure that N'Zoth can often put on.
Yeah.
But the Sylvanas, as a response, not too shabby either.
Not too shabby. But it would give Shoop sort of the initiative to try and trade into that Sylvanas how he wants. Instead of letting Chessdude be the one to sort of steal what he wants. I mean, what else does he have here? This is actually a really tough board to deal with, just because it's a lot of health to get through. I mean, you could try and just throw it on the Chill Maw and then just evaluate after, but he's going to play the Sylvanas.
Yep. Pretty easy for him. And just going to continue to tank up. I mean, he's been... Clearly his plan this game is to grind Shoop into the dust, stay alive through his pushes, and then have fatigue on his side.
This is quite tough. Not a clean way to deal with Sylvanas. He can try and get something... Try and get like the Acolyte of Pain stolen. But that's a tough thing to do, and you have to actually invest some resources in order to do so, I feel like. In order to make it likely.
Gosh, I mean... The Sylvanas is just...
What now?
It's kind of terrifying right now. I wonder if Shoop's going to try to give him... Now, I was curious if he was going to try to give him the Acolyte here, but I think it'd be a little bit too risky. Takes that 5/5 instead.
It's pretty good.
Now what?
Yeah, that's the one that he didn't want to have taken, because he wanted to be able to use that Bloodhoof Brave to trade into whatever he stole.
Yeah. That's exactly. I mean, that's what the plan was here. Instead, it's going to be Slam Bash. And Shoop would love to get a look at how many cards are left in each player's deck at this point, because Shoop has drawn a considerable amount of cards so far. Ooh, Alex Straza. This is definitely the modified one. Fibonacci originally ran Ysera in here. A lot of players have been swapping over to Alex Straza to get that extra damage in there in matchups just like this one. And also just for the defensive measure of it, you get pressured down to 4 or 5 life, being able to set yourself back to 15.
Yeah. So now he's got the Chill Maw option. Can just snap call Alex Straza, but I feel like Chill Maw applies some pressure, puts a taunt in the way, And since Alexstrasza is drawn, it will provide an activation for Chillmaw too, which is actually not something that Chillmaw does a lot of the time in some of the decks that it's included, especially in N'Zoth decks. A lot of time it's just there for a taunt that gets brought back by N'Zoth.
Yeah.
But in this situation, it will be activated.
14 cards for Shoop, 16 for Chessdude at this point. So if neither player can really make strides towards ending this game, that could be a big difference.
Yeah.
Shoop going to go just for that. And this does matter a little bit. It does help up the Ravaging Ghoul in Chessdude's hand. But it's staring down a Fiery War Axe, so we'll see how he chooses to approach that.
Lots of draw for Chessdude, which isn't helping him much right now. I mean, at what point do you say, you know what? I'm already head in fatigue. Do I just catch up to him and start drawing to find more threats?
Usually never. I mean, usually the way he's
Never!
Usually the way he's taking this game is just to wait. If he stays 2 cards ahead in fatigue, the amount of damage that will pile up from it is going to be in his favor by a considerable margin. You know, is Shoop in the same situation where he's kind of looking at his handful of draw and going, well, what can I do?
What now?
He's also had a considerable lead with Justicar Trueheart as well. You know, being able to, 6 turns now of taking up? It's like a 12 armor advantage that he's managed to find himself with.
But no, finally, this is the first turn that isn't very comfortable for him in Chessdude's side.
He can just tack in, bash, tank up again. Boom, he's got 5 more armor than he started the turn with.
Not always excited to use bashes, but knows that damage will pile up over long enough periods of time. And Shoop now, kind of a dead hand for him, honestly. He's on the armor up pass and hope to find Justicar plan, and that plan continues to build for Chessdude as well. I mean, these are some pure warrior turns we're watching here.
Yeah.
There's a Justicar.
Finally picks it up. Now we got ourselves a match.
Grand Tournament champion.
This one's going to accelerate really quickly. By accelerate, I mean the armor counts are going to accelerate.
Armor up. Welcome to the Grand Tournament. Tank up. Tank up. Amount of cards.
GM.
This is by far my favorite matchup in all of Hearthstone. This is not even close. God, I love tanking up.
Whew. Lots of options here for Shoop. He can tank up. Or he could tank up.
9 to 12 cards. Chessdude's going to draw down to 11, but again, I think the fatigue is just so heavily favoring Chessdude at this point that could quite literally be the difference in this one.
Especially since he's gotten N'Zoth, and it seems like Shoop has a much more traditional control warrior, unless he's got Elise thrown in there. Maybe he could get Elise.
Now, this is a good job by Shoop here, too, to recognize that Chessdude's going to have to be the first player to actually do something. So he picks up Bloodhoof Brave to do that, but this is 10 cards in hand. He would have had to play something this turn to prevent from burning a card.
All right. What'll it be? Rag.
I can tell you Shoop really wants to hit the 2/6 here. Eight to face.
He doesn't get it, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. This is going to be revenge, execute, push 5.
Really solid turn here from Chessdude. Very fortunate that Ragnaros hit how it did. I mean, that's a pretty big damage return, and that also will force action from Shoop. And probably not wanting to execute a Bloodhoof Brave, but maybe relegated to doing so. Now they picked up that Gore Howl, though. I mean, maybe... 5 damage isn't really that much. Overriding your Fiery War Axe, I mean, what does that mean to you in the long run? Wow, look at this answer. This is kind of clever from Shoop. I mean, does use that burst, but oftentimes the Grom in these matchups can be used just to kind of force more action from your opponent. Not only that, but Chessdude, from what we've seen from this build so far, this is almost 100% a N'Zoth build. Mm-hmm. So he also has that big inevitability tool building for him as well. And from what I've seen from Shoop with the Gore Howl, we haven't seen a Cairn from him. Haven't seen a Chill Maw. He may not have a big inevitability factor in here, other than just kind of the Gore Howl and wait.
Yeah. Still waiting for that Elite Star Seeker, though. I'm sure that's in the deck somewhere. But now Shoop has to throw something out there.
Yeah, but he's got a couple turns of having to do this, too. Chessdude, I think, is going to be perfectly fine with just doing nothing.
Yep. There's Grom. But probably not going to play anything until he has to.
Yep, Shoop's under the gun here. Something is going to have to get played from his hand. I mean, he may just throw away a Revenge here. Straw is not a bad one. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you're getting maximum value out of it. You have to empty something out of your hand anyway. But now Shoop, once again, has to draw into something that he can play.
Well, he's got a Shield Slam for this. Yeah, and once, like you said, I mean, Shoop's going to continue to be under the gun here, like basically turn after turn. And that's the kind of situation that Chessdude's trying to set up, is to force Shoop to do something in a way he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Easy Shield Slam. Tank up. That's why Ysera's in this build, is to force that 15 damage through. So, maybe some way to actually catch back into this one. Maybe Shoop's thinking, he doesn't have Alexstrasza in his build. I can actually get through this. If he's paid close attention to these builds, he'll know that sometimes these are going to include Ysera instead of Alexstrasza. Yeah, I'm just throwing away the Revenge.
Still looking for something.
Spanish face.
Take away 3 armor, then gain 3 armor back. I mean, he could just throw away Alexstrasza now.
Yeah, the difference is that Shoop's still got 9 cards in his hand, and he just saw Revenge get played. So he knows that if he continues to force the action from Shoop, that eventually he's going to have to, again, very inefficiently play something. Unless he just wants to burn cards. I mean, Shoop actually doesn't have a card in his hand he wants to play right now. Like, neither is Shield Box getting played. He doesn't want to play the Acolytes and get drawn out on. He can't cast Slam, Executes, or Brawls without things on board. I think this is a good bash if Chessdude chooses to do it.
What now?
He can also throw out a Revenge himself.
Yeah, that's a totally reasonable play as well.
Because you're right, if he throws out Alexstrasza, he gives Shoop an excuse to use a card in his hand.
Yeah, he's going to go with Alexstrasza here. Life total's about evened up. Shoop actually doesn't have a good way to activate Execute. Does pick up Ravaging Ghoul, though, so I think pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
This stalemate finally going to get broken.
I might even just take the damage. With the Gore Howl.
It's definitely a possibility. Right now, the Gore Howl will answer a N'Zoth by... Oh, geez. But is this the time to play it, though? Like, this is something that Chessdude's really got to consider, is there's almost certainly at least one copy of Brawl in Shoop's hand right now. So how does he actually get through this spot?
Looks like he's going to wait.
I wonder.
I don't mind the Grom here, honestly. Like, forcing a bunch of the removal into the N'Zoth could potentially give him a way to keep the pressure on Shoop so that post-N'Zoth, he may not have the correct answers for it. I'm just going to bash instead. Tank up.
Tank up.
Yep, and this is where that fatigue starts to be. Oh, there's the Elise.
Second to last card. But he finds it. And now we're in sort of a situation where, I mean, what's going to come out on top of this one? In the ultimate late game battle, is it going to be N'Zoth or is it going to be Golden Monkey? N'Zoth, you sort of get to choose what legendaries you get to get, and they all come at once. But is that what you want with Brawl sitting on the other side?
Yeah, and that's the thing about Shoop's position, too, is because he's behind in fatigue, if he replaces those brawls, N'Zoth is going to crush him.
Yeah, Chessdude might find a situation where he just doesn't even play N'Zoth because he just waits until the right moment.
N'Zoth is sort of the counter action to your opponent not having anything, having expended everything already.
What's this going to be? That's interesting. Maybe setting up for revenge next turn to try and clean up a little bit.
Just doesn't want to play anything from his hand. I don't know if Shoop's supposed to Golden Monkey here if he draws it. There's the Shield Slam. I mean, almost certainly not with Shield Slam and executes. This will set up Grom for Chessdude, and we'll see how Shoop wants to take this. But those elite shots will really add up in this. I mean, the fact that he could kind of dig himself back to an advantage by having that extra damage, clocking a turn, and keeping that armor in check. You know, even if he falls behind in the fatigue race, could still manage to pick it back up.
What now?
I mean, Chessdude's in no rush here. Chessdude can... No, not quite. I mean, he's 2 cards ahead in fatigue. So...
He's taking it...
He doesn't have to do anything.
He's taking it slow the whole time. And so I don't really see a reason for him to deviate from that. I'm just waiting to see what he does to see where his thought process is. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, status quo is okay. Again, using the Grom to check the Elise, I don't think is that bad of a plan right now. Just simply for the sake of making sure he can't cut into your armor total. He wants to try to force the removal prior to playing the Grom here, I think.
Yeah. And there's Monkey. So, Chester's probably just going to slam this and wait. I mean, again, no rush for him. He's the one that's ahead. Doomsayer's pretty useless at the moment, but it could be used preemptively for a monkey turn, something along those lines.
This was very nice as well, being able to hold on to the Grom, actually, and just get this value out of the slam. That was really a good spot from Chessdude.
Yeah, I think Chester just doesn't do anything for the rest of this game. He's ahead right now in fatigue. He's ahead on health. Shoop, I think, just has to realize,
Great force from Chessdude here. But if these legendaries are powerful enough, we could... 3 Hoggers?
What? And a Confessor Paletriss. The rest of them not so great, especially Chromagus. But Hogger's going to be able to be played with the Golden Monkey. So, Shoop might have just bought himself some time.
I mean, Hogger is certainly an inevitability engine in this matchup. But the N'Zoth from Chessdude is huge right now. It's bringing back Sylvanas. It's bringing back Chillmaw. And that's it right now. But that's a lot of gas.
Yeah, he also has the Grom. I mean, he's got removal for this stuff. He's got double Brawl. And there are 2 legendaries in Shoop's hand that are absolutely dead. Blood Mage Thanos and Nat Pagal cannot be played.
Yeah, it'd almost be suicide to play those right now.
So, I mean, this one's still going to be pretty close. Chessdude might have to trust in a Brawl here and then Shield Slam whatever comes out, but that's a lot of resources used for just one legendary. Acolyte of Pains are dead. Shield blocks are dead. So, Chessdude's working with Brawls, a Shield Slam, N'Zoth, and the Grom Hellscream here, and he's going to have to win, where Shoop has double Hogger, Malkorok, a Fuel Lightbane, Confessor Paletriss, and Chromagus. I mean, this one's going to come down to it. Shoop is behind in fatigue, but that's a really good outcome for him, getting that 2-2 out of the fray.
Yeah, he's going to try to force another Brawl with these Hoggers here, I imagine, and then use Confessor Paletriss. He's going to go with Confessor Paletriss instead.
Yeah.
Imagine if this created a Nat Bagel. What if it created Nat the Darkfisher?
Oh man, what's it gonna be? Another Confessor Paletriss? Oh man.
Well, this is going to be met by second Brawl for sure.
Yeah. Second Brawl and probably a Shield Slam if one of these Confessor Paletrisses live. You cannot let that thing outlive. But then, I mean, that's pretty much it for Chessdude. After that, he's out of removal. He has to rely on the Grom. He has to rely on the N'Zoth to sort of win this game. And is he going to go with the N'Zoth right now?
I don't know about this one. I mean, honestly, I'm not really a big fan of this from Shoop either. I think if he tries to force a brawl with just the Hog and the Fiola Lightbane, or even just the Hogger and a tank up here, and he sees the other brawl, I mean, he might just think Chessdude only has one brawl in the deck too. That's a possibility.
What now?
Yeah, I think I would have liked a Hogger there.
I mean, if
Maybe
if
even
he
just a Cro-Magus.
I mean, if he just forces a brawl with Hogger, that means the Confessor Peltris is sticking, and that is terrifying if you're in Chessdude's position. He's going to go with N'Zoth here. Oh my, I don't know about this, TJ.
Well, we'll see.
And Sylvanas is certainly threatening quite a bit here. Wait a minute.
Can he force a Pagel Steal?
He can force a Pagel Steal.
No way.
Chessdude does have the Shield Slam in his hand to deal with that, though.
To deal with his own Pagel? I mean, that's...
I don't know. I think you go for the
thing
overwhelming...
Is it
I think-
worth...
Oh,
it is,
This is stressful just watching.
he actually has no way to clear the board here. Unless I'm missing something. So he's going to have to leave him in the Zoth up the way it is. And he's actually...
Yeah, I think you go wide here.
Those are both very poor, but I don't think he's upset with very poor, to be honest.
I don't think so either. Let's see if he chooses to add anything to this board here. Oh, he's taking... Well, Confessor lives. Takes the 2-2 even. Jason drops a Hogger.
If he forces the brawl here, that's all the resources gone from Chessdude. He'll have to play the rest of the game with just a Grom left, which I don't really know.
I mean, Confessor's definitely got a target on his forehead. I think that the Hogger has to have a target on his forehead.
So can you afford to use the Grom here? Just trade the 2-2, kill the Peltris, and then play the Grom? But then, I mean...
Oh, no.
Is that going to be enough? Oh my gosh, this is so tough.
Like, is that situation good enough? Because if you attack with a N'Zoth, you are losing the N'Zoth to the Gorehound at that point. And the 6-3 is like, it's almost like not good enough to shield slam. You know, the threat of the 6 legendaries remaining in Shoop's hand.
All right, here's
brawl,
the brawl,
boys.
If he loses this brawl, it could be a big deal. He's got shield slam to follow it up in an emergency, but I know he doesn't want to do that. And the Hogger comes out.
He has to shield slam here. And now this, I'm not going to lie, this pass here from Shoop, I guess Chessdude meets it with Grom and Revenge and hope that's enough damage to buy him the time he needs.
But Hogger's going to put a wrench in that plan.
Yeah, a big one. This is bad for Chessdude.
I mean, he's going to have to hope that he's going to be able to win in fatigue, that most of these legendaries are dead. It's still going to be close because Shoop's already taken 6 points of fatigue next turn, I think. He's going to take 10 damage plus 6 points of fatigue. Will it be enough? This is Chessdude's... His whole deck is on the back of this Grom. 5 points of fatigue. So Shoop's got 30 health to work with.
I think Shoop wins. Like, Hogger and Fiola Lightbane, or even just Hogger and Tank Up, it stops the Grom. Chessdude cannot deal damage anymore.
You have been measured and found wanting.
Wow. That is going to be enough to trade. And he's got Cro-Magus and Malkorok, which will deal 12 damage a turn.
He doesn't even have
together.
to trade anymore. He just lets the 2-2s absorb the damage and attacks face.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
This game's over.
Shoop's done it. That's exactly what he's going to do. Chessdude sulks down in his chair a little bit.
Yeah,
But how many turns does...
Shoop's got 5 turns to kill him, and this is way more than enough to deliver the punch in 5 turns. He's got Malkorok coming after this. Even unless he gets Curse Blade off the Malkorok, which he actually needs to think about that real quick.
Can he win with this board alone if the current state holds true?
Uh-oh, I don't think he did the math on this. Doesn't get Malkorok for his sake. That's way more than enough. I mean, this game's over.
Yeah. That's going to
Wow.
be Shoop.
What?
What a game. Oh, man.
The main course has been served.
Yeah, this is going to be Chessdude. He's going to take, 5 fatigue this turn? I think he's just going to be dead next turn. 6 fatigue this turn, and he's going to choose death.
Wow.
Shoop takes the win, and that's got to be brutal for Chessdude after an exhausting match. I mean, you got to be reeling after that one. Where did I go wrong? What could I have done to maybe won that game? And Shoop's going to go up to a 2-0 lead now, and he's just got Warlock left to win with and 3 opportunities to do so.
I mean, it's the Elise. He drew 3 Hoggers off the Elise. That's insane. That's so good, especially in the grind resource. Like, he isolated the Grom with a Hogger. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah. Really well played. And, I mean, those turns there at the end there, I'm trying to think, what could Chessdude have done? Like, could he have not played the Brawl and gone all in a little bit earlier? I don't know. It's tough to say. But I'm sure Chessdude's going to go back and watch that one, because that is like one of those games where it's sort of a learning experience, if anything. You go back and you think, you look at that game and think, what could I have done differently? And I don't know what it could have been, but 3 Hoggers is definitely not something you expect. And I think Chessdude put himself in a position to win, but just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that Chessdude navigated. They both navigated this very well. The only thing I have a beef with is the number of cards Shoop drew early on. I would like to see him draw a little bit less, and not really worry too much about it. And that was the only thing I saw that would have been different in that game. Mm-hmm. But just, I mean, what can you say about that? Chessdude, I mean, 3 Hoggers, like a Nubarok, honestly, would be better for him than Hogger would, because then Shoop can't fit in tank ups, and he can't actually stop the damage from Grom at that point. You know, being able to stuff the damage from Grom is really one of the most important factors to that Hogger there.
Yeah.
Like, what if he gets the other Hogger? If he gets the other Hogger, maybe he doesn't win.
Yeah, or that Brawl outcome. If Hogger doesn't come out of that Brawl, don't have to shield slam, you can just play that Doomsayer and it's going to live, then who knows? Who knows? But 2-0 lead for Shoop now. Players are taking a quick break after that long one. That was almost an hour-long game by itself, so...
it's a grueling one. I'd want to break too. I do want to break, and I'm not even playing.
Yeah, I mean, seeing both hands is almost as stressful as just only seeing one. Jeez, have to factor in 2. But players are back. Looks like we're going into the next match here. Shoop, don't know what type of Warlock he's playing. Have to see. Guess Zoo, but that's not a Zoo Warlock.